Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to Mission 4 with the game British Tank Ace from Compass Games. Our first 3 missions have gone swimmingly. Time to get back out into the desert and see if we can keep things up with our 4th mission. As always, let's start out with a brief summary of our career so far. This will be our 4th mission, June of 1940, the last mission for us in June, as each month has 4 missions that you can go on. Our 3 previous missions have been outstanding successes thanks to our laser point gunnery, which has been just ripping apart Italian enemies on the battlefield so far. We did, in the last mission, gain an experience point. We now have 1 prestige point, 1 experience point, and our prestige level is 1. I'm going to hold off on spending the experience point. I think we might save this until we get a better tank. My thinking is we're pretty vulnerable. We are going to take casualties. I can't stress this enough. And I would hate to spend an experience point on a current crew member only to have them die right after that. So maybe that's a little bit pessimistic, and I have all the confidence in our tank crew. Trust me, I do. We're just going to save it until we get to a better tank. And at the moment, there's nothing really critical that I want to spend that experience point on skill-wise. And with all that being said, it is time now to get started. Let us roll up our mission and see what we get for our last mission in June. We get a straight up 8. Oh, an attack mission. Okay. So this means the enemy is going to fire at us first. So we are definitely, well, we might not get shot at if they choose not to kind of look at us, or, they're firing at other targets, but it's not going to be automatically we shoot at the first thing here. Next up, let's see what we get for weather. We get an 11. Oh, another dust storm. Okay. So we're on the attack. That means we start, I think, at close range again. Oh, another one of these. It's so dusty here. That's an unusual roll, but we've got 2 of our first 4 missions have been dust storms. And let's see now, lastly, what the terrain is here. We get a 5, which is open terrain. So open terrain in a dust storm. Let's go drop that in. Whoops, a quick look at our tank, of course, too. Cruiser Mark 1 A9, the same as we've had for the previous 3 missions, loaded up with AP ammo and machine gun bullets. And our crew, our 5 members of our crew have been outstanding so far, are still the same. So I've dropped our terrain in open terrain. I've used snow here to represent the current weather for dust storm. And then we are on the attack this time. I also did get clarification from Compass Games what the replacement will be for this. It's going to be a sticker that you lay over your existing board. They sent me a digital file of that, but my color printer doesn't look very good. So I'm just going to use this one until that comes. And it's time to see what we are up against. Let's roll for our Italian enemies here. We get a 9, a tank, and 2 infantry. Okay. We need to see what type of tank it is. The M1139, which we've seen before. We need to see what the morale of our infantry is. 6 elite troops. That's not good because they can actually fire at us at close range. With the dust storm, we are going to be at close range. This could be a little bit tricky for us here. Off camera, I rolled up the positioning for the Italian tank and the 2 infantry squads here. The tank is over in A with another infantry squad. Now, infantry in these attack missions start in dug in. And we're going to be attacking them. Again, we are at close range because of the sandstorm. It's going to make visibility tough, and it's going to make shooting tough for both sides. A quick look at our A9. I've got myself as the commander unbuttoned, opened up. I do have our machine gunners, although we're going to need them. I want them buttoned up at first because I think there's a good chance we could take fire, and we might have a buttoned up result. So I want to try to keep them safe to the degree that we can. So we're going to start with me open until we knock that tank out, and then we might unbutton the machine gun turret gunners to see if we can get some shots off at that infantry, but we'll play it by ear here. And with that, it's time for the combat to start. We've got dust swirling around as we close in on the enemy positions. I'm going to roll from left to right to see if the enemy fire at us. On a die roll of 1, they fire at us right away. Anything else, they fire at our other allies with us here. The tank does not decide to fire at us. That's good. The infantry squad right beside it does not fire at us. That's good. The last infantry squad over on the right does not fire at us. That too is excellent, which brings us past the end of the first round, and now we roll for an event on the first round. There are good things and bad things that can happen here. Let's see what we get. We get a 7, no event. So the battle stays exactly the way it started, and we go to the end of that first round. Now we go to the second round. And we are in the action. With that, we've closed in now in the second round of visible distance of the enemy. Our first action is going to be point at the enemy over here. Our rough plan is going to be blow up the tank, destroy the infantry. With one squad left, this mission would be over. That's our plan. But first we have to see if our driver, Lance Corporal Scott, can execute this change of direction without getting us immobilized. We are rolling on the immobilization for movement for clear. Need something big. Ooh, we get a 5. That's a 4. That's good enough, because a -1 die roll modifier because our driver is buttoned up on that. So now we've used our first action to face the target here. We could fire at the infantry squad or the tank. The tank is an instant kill here if it hits us. So we're going to go after the most dangerous target here, which is the M1139. Now, our gunner, Hoovian here, has yet to miss on these shots. It is a close range shot, which is normally 2 to 7. However, we are in a sandstorm, which adds +2 to the die roll modifier. He has not missed yet, so we need a 2 to 5. It's the same roll that we've hit. We load and we fire. Oh my goodness, we get an 11. +2 is 13. That's a miss. Okay, so the magic run of constant hitting is over, and that ends our 2 actions for this round. And with that, we now go to the enemy actions in round 2. However, before we do that, we have acquired the M1139. That'll give us a -1 die roll modifier on our next shot. Now, because we fired at the Italian tank, it's going to fire at us. This is where it gets ugly fast. Kill or be killed kind of thing. It also needs a 2 to 7 shot on us here, but without any impact on the target. It's a 2 to 7 +2 because of the sandstorm. So it's a 2 to 5 they need as well. They fire at us, they get an 8, and they miss, thankfully. Whew. That's, I think, the first shot that we've had at us in this whole campaign so far. Let's go to the infantry and see what they do. They get fire at somebody else on anything except a 1. Oh, they get a 1. So they are going to fire at us as well. Oh, this is bad. So we must have alerted them all to our presence here. Now, the infantry is a procedure I haven't executed before. I hope I can get this correct. The first thing here is on a 1 to 3, they use a small arms fire, and we have to button up, it looks like. Okay, but if it's a 4 to 6, they use the anti-tank rifle and a grenade attack. And so we're going to roll to see what happens here. We're hoping for a 1 to 3, I believe. We get a 6, so they're coming at us with the anti-tank gun. However, before they attack with the anti-tank gun, they have to pass a morale check, which means they have to roll their morale of 5 or less. So it's pretty certain they're going to fire the anti-tank rifle at us. These are elite troops, and they do, which is bad news for us in so many ways. Because that means that doesn't look like here there's a die roll to see if they hit on this. It looks like it's automatically, that indicates a successful attack because it's a close range. So we roll on the main gun or anti-tank penetration chart, which is 2d6 here on the die roll. And now it is, and this is a +1 die roll modifier because it's at close range. We're hoping for a nice low number. Oh, that's so good. We get 3 + 1 is 4. Excellent. One thing I want to check real quick here is to see if this has that spalling result. I'm not sure if it does. Okay, had to look up a few things here, but we are shocked now because when hit by that anti-tank rifle, it does not cause spalling, which is a flaking of the interior of the tank. The penetration has to be equal or greater than the tank armor to do that, and an anti-tank rifle doesn't have that. But we are shocked, which means in the next round, we're going to lose another action. So the tank fires at us and misses. The infantry fires at us and hits us with the anti-tank rifle, but does no damage. Now we have to go over here and check on this other infantry on the right. Hopefully they stay busy with somebody else. Good. They do not come after us. Excellent. So we've survived this round. We haven't hit anything. They now also have dialed in us here, so they have us targeted on their thing, so they are going to get -1 for a previous die roll on us. The tank is, that is. But we need to see if there's an event first. Let's roll on the event chart. We get a 5. It says DE1 random axis anti-tank gun. There are no anti-tank guns here, so that is a no effect. So that takes care of round 2. Let's go to round 3. The first thing we do is we remove the shock action sticker for one of our actions. Let's see if we can hit this tank now. So it's 2 to 7, but it's +2 because of to the die roll modifier because of the sandstorm that's swirling around, -1 because it was a previous target. So we need a 2 to 6. We really need to start doing some damage here fast. Hoovian dials in the tank through the sandstorm and fires. Yes! He's back on track. Hoovian hits the M1139. This gives me a little bit of hope. Oh, with a 6, that's perfect. With that in mind, we have to see what happens to the enemy tank. Our penetration, as before, is greater than their armor, and we are at short range, so it is +1 on this die roll modifier. This tank is, well, we'll see. Get an 8, +1 is a 9. That's the end of the M1139 with our sole shot. Hoovian has picked up another kill and some excellent shooting. All this time we did have our first miss. We are not out of the woods yet though, however, as this pesky Italian infantry here has us dialed in on range. So now we're going to go to the enemy turn here, and we have to see what happens. The infantry here will continue to attack us. So we're going to start right with the infantry on the left first. They've already decided to attack us, so they'll continue to do that. They need a 1 to 3, and they hit us with small arms, and we have to button up. A 4 to 6, again, is the anti-tank rifle. Let's get a 1 to 3. Yes, good, okay. So a 1 to 3 means we have to button up. Now, let's take a look at our tank. The only one who was unbuttoned was me. Now, normally you'd have to roll to see if there's an injury, if you get a forced to button up result here. But I have this 6th sense skill, which allows me the first time it happens in a combat, I can burn that up. It's like I know I'm going to get shot at, so I button up before the potential to get injured happens. So that's why I wanted that skill. That makes we duck down and we duck under, and we are safe from that. So the small arms fire forces us to button up, but that's it for that round for the infantry. Let's go over to the other infantry though. We have to roll for the right infantry. Hopefully they stay busy with other targets. They do, good, so they're not bothering us. So it's us against this infantry here in the end, but first we go to the end of that round, and now we have to see about an event here. So here's our roll on the event chart, a 10, Axis mortar attack. Okay, I don't think that's good. All right, so Axis mortar attack here says your tank receives an attack on the machine gun high explosive attack chart at -1 die roll modifier for mortars. If artillery receives a B result, so it's not going to apply to mortars. So this really can't impact us because we have already got, we're already buttoned up. So the best they can get is buttoned up, but just for kicks and giggles, we'll roll it. They get a 7, -1 is a 6. It doesn't impact us. The mortars don't land close. So we survived that event. Now we go to the next round. As we go to our action now in the 4th round, we're going to fire at the dug-in infantry on the B2 chart. There are 3 modifiers that I think apply to us right here. The first is, and we can do this command, we're going to use our first command where we can fire both machine gun turrets straight ahead. So we can fire twice, so our left gunner and our right gunner can both fire. We're going to start with David S. on the left machine gun turret to open fire first. But there are 3 die roll modifiers. It's +1 because the enemy is dug in. It's +1 on the B2 chart for a sandstorm, and it's +1 because we are buttoned up, which gives us a total of +3. So it's not the greatest shot. We need a 6 to start suppressing the infantry, but we do get a lot of shots, and we will get our target acquired for previous target in the next round. And we're going to get 4 of them because we have 2 actions, and we can fire twice with each action. So our first round, David S. on the left opens up. Oh, I'm going to re-roll this one here. That one's on an edge. I don't know what it was. Oh, boom! 2 + 3. David S. with the machine gun, letting it fly. 2 + 3 is a 5. It's 1 step loss, and the infantry is suppressed. So David S. just dials it right up and puts the pressure on right away. Wow, that's some great shooting. DM Tim looks at David S. and says, I can do that too. And we get our second shot here. Now, if we suppress it, I think it causes another damage and it's done. We get a 6. +3 is a 9, which is a suppression result. I think the second suppression result wipes the infantry out. I'm going to double check. Yes, infantry units that are suppressed and also receive a second suppression result in the same combat round also receive a step loss in addition to the other results. DM Tim finishes off the infantry squad, and that clears the battlefield for us on the left side. which we know by rule, this infantry on the right side immediately withdraws. So we don't even have to get to their half of the round here. It is over. And we don't have to roll for an event either because the infantry has withdrawn. Whew. That was the hairiest one yet. I mean, we got buttoned up, we took some hits, but again, some good shooting. I mean, that time wasn't the 2 to 5. We got a 6, which is a little bit better result there which is a little bit less unusual result. Let's say that with Whovians firing. That was close. Having said that, I just realized there is one last thing that we need to do. On attack missions, at the end of the mission, it is possible that the Italians will counterattack. We roll a 1d6, and if we roll a 6, the Italians will counterattack us. So we'll see what happens here. A 4. So there is no counterattack and the mission ends. As we've reached the end of the mission, it's time for us to claim our war trophies if we get them. We can walk around and look and see what we find on the thing here. Let's roll on the war trophies chart. We get an 8 Italian rations. Italian rations aren't the best thing to find. They only have a value of 1, but still, it adds to our collection. We can use these in an assault attack too, to call in for extra artillery, I think, which would be a good thing to use it for. But, okay, so there is our war trophies. Let's check for awards. There are none. We only destroyed 1 vehicle, so there are no potential awards. We could spend experience. We do not get an experience point here because it's our first mission in the next cycle of 3. We had nobody wounded. Our ammo is all good. And we could spend war trophies, but we are not. We're not going to spend our prestige point either. We can't really yet. There's nothing to spend it on. And with that, our mission comes to a close. 4th mission done. 4th mission successful. We knocked out a tank and an enemy infantry squad with some incredible machine gun fire from David S. to get us off. And another great shot by Whovian, although he did miss for the first time in our campaign. Still, we'll take the victory here. 4 missions done and 4 successes. That's a pretty good start for us. I'll be back with a link to mission 5 as soon as it's ready. Love to hear your comments and thoughts down below.